Hey, what's up guys, Houston here. And for those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's been supporting me, salute. And for my faithful patrons, as always, double salute, okay? Now, today's video, we're going to be talking about net 30s that have a bigger impact than Dun & Bradstreet, okay? And the reason that we're talking about these, because I know there's a lot of people that's trying to build their business credit to get funding. But in terms of understanding that just having a whole bunch of net 30s, that's not going to help you get funding, okay? So you have to understand that. Now, this video may have a lot of information, but it's going to be very impactful. So you may want to look at the video maybe 2 or 3 times, or you may want to grab a pen and paper, okay? Now, let's understand in terms of the business credit bureaus that report. You have Dun & Bradstreet, you have Equifax, you have Experian, you have National Association of Credit Management, you have Credit Safe, you have Small Business Financial Exchange, and I want you guys to remember that. Small Business Financial Exchange, because that's very important, especially for you guys that's been denied an EIDL loan, and I'm going to explain that in a minute, okay? Then you have a LexisNexis, all right? So those are your top 7 business credit reporting. You also have a Katera as well, all right? But here's the thing about it. When trying to build business credit, all right, most people think, well, if I got all these net 30s, I have a 100 paydex score, then how come I'm not getting funding? Again, because you may have net 30s and stuff, but you may not have a relationship with the right financial institution that actually will look at that file, okay? And so what we're going to do, we're going to give you the right financial institutions that you may want to consider exempting credit unions, okay? So this isn't talking about credit unions, this is talking about direct banks and stuff like that. But here's something that I want to share with you all that's very important. So these are the 6 things that you should have on your file, all right? You have business setup, you have your EIN, you have your business bank account, your website, your email, and your 800 number. Now I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to really think about this. Out of those 6 things, which one do you think is more important than Dun & Bradstreet? Now, some of you are like, well, that's not important more than Dun & Bradstreet. That's not true, okay? And so put down below, which one of these 6 is more important than Dun & Bradstreet? Would that be the business setup, the EIN number, the business bank account, the website, the email, or the 800 number? All right? So I want you to think about those and put a comment below. Which one do you actually think is more important than Dun & Bradstreet, especially when it comes to getting funding? Now, talking about the right financial institutions before we get into the right net 30s that you may want to consider. So let's talk about the financial institutions that you may want to have an account with. As a matter of fact, with a lot of the financial institutions, they're going to be starting to do internal scoring. Now, I made a video about Navy Federal and their internal scoring and stuff. So for those of you that want to see the video, put a comment below. Houston, can I see that video? Okay? Hey, look at that. Somebody's down in the water. I don't know what they're looking for, but I guess they're diving for something. I hope it's not a body. But back to what I was saying. I've been seeing them all this morning going back and forth. I don't know what they're looking for. I hope it ain't an alligator either. But nonetheless, talking about the business bank accounts that you may want to have and have a relationship with. And I'll tell you why, okay? Again, dealing with internal scoring, not your FICO, but internal scoring, because sometimes you may have a challenging FICO, but if you have a strong internal scoring with the right financial institution, they may still approve you for business funding, because the business credit purpose for the net 30s, the whole purpose is to try to get to business funding, correct? So now, let's talk about those banks, all right? You have American Express. Now, American Express reports to the Small Business Financial Exchange, all right? Now, I want to back up here. I want to talk about the SBA and EIDL, because some of you guys said that you applied for EIDL and you had good credit and the SBA turned you down. Well, you may have a business that may not have shown revenue, or you may not have any of the small business financial exchange creditors reporting on your business credit file. Okay, so they're going to pull your Experian, and they're going to also check your small business financial exchange business credit file. Okay, so that's with the SBA. And so what I would do is this list of net 30s, I'm going to tell you, you may want to apply with these companies and get approved, then reapply for EIDL if you have at least a 620 or 640 credit score. Okay, this is very important, especially if you're trying to get funding for your business. Now, that's American Express. They are a small business financial exchange. Then you have Bank of America. Bank of America also reports to the Small Business Financial Exchange. Okay, now here's something. Capital One. Capital One reports to Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Small Business Financial Exchange. Now here's something that I have been saying and people have been challenging me on it. I was telling them that with the Capital One, it's the Capital One Spark Cash business card, okay? When you open up a new Capital One Spark business card, what happened, cash card, Spark Cash, what happens is that they won't report on your personal credit file unless you miss payments. Okay, now they would still pull all 3 credit bureaus, but in terms of this business credit card, it won't report on your personal credit. Okay, so that's one thing that's good. Now with Capital One, let me elaborate. With Capital One, they do have a business credit card for a lower threshold as well. Okay, I think maybe like a 620 or something like that. You can get another one of their business credit cards, business starter credit cards. Okay, if you have if you have challenging credit. But again, here's a perfect example of internal scoring. You may have bad credit, okay? You may have a bad account on the personal side with Capital One. That does not disqualify you for a business credit card with Capital One. Let me say that again. If you had a Capital One personal credit card and that personal credit card went bad, okay, that will not disqualify you for a Capital One business credit card, okay? So that you clearly understand that. Now, in terms of another financial institution, Chase. Chase reports to Dun & Bradstreet. They report to Equifax. They report to Experian. And they report to Small Business Financial Exchange, all right? Now, Citibank also reports to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, Small Business Financial Exchange, all right? Now with Discover, they report to Equifax, Experian, and Dun & Bradstreet. My thing about Discover, I have never seen a Discover business card. I've never seen a Discover business account. People say they're there, and again, it says that they report, but in terms of, I just never seen those type of accounts. If any of you have a Discover business account, put a comment below. Let me know, because I've never seen it. I hear people say, oh, Discover has a business card, but I never seen it advertised, Discover business credit card. I just never seen it. Okay, and I'm a researcher, but I just never seen that. Maybe I'm overlooking something. All right, but nonetheless, moving on, you have U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank reports to Dun & Bradstreet and Equifax. Guys, you have to excuse the noise in the background. They're doing a setup and everything. So I guess they have to do their job or whatever. But anyway, nonetheless, moving forward, you have a U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank again. We said that U.S. Bank reports to, Dun & Bradstreet and Equifax. Then you have Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo reports to Small Business Financial Exchange. All right, so that's 8 financial institutions, and the majority of them report to either Equifax or Equifax and Experian. This is very important, or Small Business Financial Exchange. The reason it's important, because of these net 30s that I'm going to tell you about, that's going to help you. Oh, by the way, I got a list of business lenders. So if you have challenging credit, but your business is making revenue, I have a list of business lenders that will maybe be able to help you. So just stick with me, and I'll give you those names as well. Now, here's something that you have to understand. Let's talk about these net 30s. All right, and most people, they go through tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So they're trying to build up to business funding. Here's why I continue to tell you: open up a business bank account, a personal account, okay? And in that business bank account, just make weekly deposits. Now you understand why I was saying that, because the more business transactions you have going on in that business bank account, it's going to report to these business credit bureaus, which is going to help you get qualified for funding. Now, again, like I said, because it may not reflect or be judged on your FICO score, it may just be an internal decision in terms of what's going on with your business. All right, so that's the reason that this is important. Now, let's talk about these net 30s. And some of these net 30s you guys may be familiar with, you may have heard of. Some of them you may already have, but you really don't know the true impact of it on your business credit file. So one of them is Crown Office Supplies, okay? And the reason I would tell you to get Crown Office Supplies is because they report to Equifax, they report to Credit Safe, they report to Small Business Financial Exchange, they report to LexisNexis, and they report to the National Association of Credit Management. Now, in order to get qualified, they want you to have a U.S.-based business. They have an annual fee of $99. Then there's no negative marks on your business credit file. Their limits go from $800 up to $5,000. Now, if any of you guys that have Crown Office Supplies, let me know in terms of, did you have a higher credit limit? Let me know which credit bureaus that they report to for you. Okay. Now, you have another company called Shirtsy. Okay, Shirtsy is where you can do print on demand, order shirts and stuff like that. But they report to Experian, Equifax, Credit Safe, Small Business Financial Exchange, and Sonia, and National Association of Credit Management. Now, their fee for Shirtsy is $99 annually. You have to be in business at least 90 days. No negatives on the account and an EIN. Now, with some of these fees, like the $99 fee, they may report that as a trade line. And for some of these companies, if you have an established business credit file, they may just waive that $99 annual fee. So just keep that in mind. It never hurts to ask. Okay? So that's very important. Now, number 3, we're going to talk about wise business plan. Now, a lot of people may think, well, I don't need a business plan, but they offer more products than that. But here's the thing. If you are an individual trying to get a grant, okay, if you're trying to get a loan through a company like Axion, A-C-C-I-O-N, Axion. So if you're trying to get a loan through them or whatever, they may say, hey, I want to see a business plan, okay? And most of the time with Axion, in order to get funding from there, it's crazy because they want you to get a recommendation from a score in order to actually even deal with them sometimes. So they're like one of those companies. They're a non-profit, but they want you to jump through hoops and everything. So that's the reason why, you know, I'm not too fond of them, because they always want you to jump through hoops. But nonetheless, talking about wise business plan. So again, if you're trying to go after grants and stuff, there's a lot of people out there that can write you up a business plan. But the reason that you may want to choose wise, again, is because they're going to report to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. They do have a $99 annual fee. You have to be in business at least 30 days. And they also report to Credit Safe. All right. So again, just keep in mind that with this type of company, you have leverage, especially if you're getting a business plan. Especially if you got a new startup and you're trying to get a grant and you're trying to get funding and stuff, you definitely need a business plan. And for some of these, I'll put a link below this video so you can get access to these, okay? Now, another one is Suma Office Supplies. And again, I understand some of you guys may already be familiar with them, but in terms of how to leverage them. So they report to Experian, Equifax, and then after 6 months, they'll report to Dun & Bradstreet. You also can ask for a higher credit line increase, okay? Now, again, you have to understand the pattern of what's going on here. If you actually follow this pattern and listen at what I'm saying and just follow it step by step, it'll make it easier for you to qualify your business for funding. Then the last one is NAV, okay? Now with NAV, N-A-V, again, I put a link below the video, but with NAV, you either have to have their business boost plan or the business loan builder. And they're going to report to Experian, Equifax, and Dun & Bradstreet. So you have just those 5 trade lines. And they're reporting to all 7 of those trade lines. They're going to hit at least 4 or 5, I said between 3 to 5 of the credit bureaus that you want to hit to help build up your business credit file so that you can get funding, okay? So if you look at the pattern, like I said, most of them are reporting to either Equifax or Experian. When it comes to traditional lenders, like the banks and stuff, a lot of times they're going to look at either your Experian file or your Equifax file. So that's the reason these net 30s are more important. Now, for those of you guys that may have bad credit, but you have a business that's generating revenue, here's the thing about it. Now, these companies that I'm telling you about, they may charge a lot of interest, but hey, if you need funding to buy more supplies, to expand or whatever, and you don't have the best credit, this may be the leverage that you can have. Now, the first company is Business Advanced Funding. All right, so with Business Advanced Funding, they want you to be in business at least 6 months, monthly revenue at least $5,000, and if you had a bankruptcy, a discharge bankruptcy, they will still work with you, okay? Now, Shield Funding, if you've been in business at least 2 months and your average revenue is at least $8,000 per month, then they will start lending you money. Some people say they start at about $5,000, but again, I'm not associated with these here companies, so you would probably have to reach out to them. All right. Now, number 3 for business loans for bad credit is Seek Business Capital. Now with Seek, S-E-E-K Business Capital, they're saying that you can come with a brand new startup and no revenue. So if you can come with brand new startup and no revenue, that means that you have to either have some collateral or you have to have a strong enough credit score. So in terms of clarifying that, I still couldn't find any actual information. Anybody that's ever did any business with Seek Business Capital, put a comment below. Let me know if you ever did business with them. All right, and if I'm explaining this to where it's helpful to you, again, put a comment, because I would like for you to give me a like, a share. Let me know if I'm doing a good job. Now, again, going back, talking about the financial institution. Well, let me tell you about two other lenders for small businesses with bad credit. You got Clarity Capital and you got Fundbox. Now with Fundbox, they want you to be in business at least 3 months, but it doesn't specify how much revenue. So that's the reason, like with some of them, like Blue Vine and stuff, they want you to be making large amounts of money. However, many of you that's made at least $42,000 for the year, and you may have challenging credit. PayPal has a business loan builder. You don't have to have a PayPal account. Okay, and so because you don't have to have a PayPal account, they will use that information to help you get qualified for funding. I think it's 30% of your sales. And you can use those same numbers to get a loan from PayPal, and then use those same numbers to get a loan from these other lenders that I just mentioned as well. So don't just think you can only use that set of numbers to get a loan from one lender. You can use those numbers to get a loan from multiple lenders, which is the great thing about it. Now let me back up for a minute, guys, because again, I cannot reiterate enough that it's very important with the lenders that I was talking about: American Express, Bank of America, Capital One, Chase City, U.S. Bank, Discover, and Wells Fargo. When you open up your business bank account, if they don't, and you have challenging credit, if they don't have a secured card, just continue making weekly deposits. So if you're working a job, then taking a portion of your income from your job and loaning it to the business, but split it up into weekly deposits again, and then using that money in those bank accounts to pay for your gas and stuff, because of the transactions and stuff that's going to be reporting to the credit bureau, the business credit bureau. All right, so that's very important. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can click the link below to set up a consultation. If you have questions about your business credit or questions about your personal credit, again, click the link below, set up a consultation. This is Houston with Three-Way Funding. For those of you that just found the YouTube channel, welcome. For those of you that's been supporting me and following me, as always, salute. Thank you.